Welcome to Cupcakes and Clarity, the podcast for high-achieving women who want success and fulfillment without burning it all down. I'm your host, Lisa Pirinelli, and every Tuesday I'm bringing you honest conversations and practical strategies to help you create more balance, purpose, and joy in your work and your life. Think of this as a heart-to-heart with a trusted friend. Together we'll get real about the challenges you face, and you'll leave every episode feeling clear, confident, and inspired to make your next chapter your best one yet.
Welcome back to Cupcakes and Clarity. I'm Lisa Pirinelli, life coach, mentor, and someone who's deeply committed to helping women live from their values, not pressure. And we're at that time of year again. The air shifts. Everywhere you look, you're seeing the message pushing new year, new you. And suddenly you feel like you need to have it all figured out by January 1st. You start thinking, this year I'll do better. I'll get it together. I'll change everything starting January 1st. And those intentions, they're good, but most of them fall apart not because you lack discipline or motivation, simply because they weren't designed for the season of life you're actually in. They were missing the solid foundation that creates long-term success. Today, we're changing that. This episode is about prepping for 2026 in a way that actually makes sense for your life now. Not the life you wish you had, not the life everyone else seems to be living, but the life you're living today. Your values, your season, your priorities. And by the end of this episode, you're not just going to feel inspired. You're going to have 4 simple steps you can take this week. Yes, this week, to set up a powerful, aligned, sustainable 2026. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about why traditional resolutions don't work. Every year, millions of women set resolutions with good intentions, strong motivation, and sometimes even a full color-coded plan. Maybe you've read a book outlining a structure for achieving a certain goal, or heard a friend of a friend did this one program and it worked for her. At least as far as the version of the story your friend is told, but they all miss one thing: context. Your goals have to come from 3 places: what this past year taught you, what matters most to you, what your current season of life requires. If you skip any of those, your goals turn into pressure. They feel heavy before you even begin. I've coached enough women to know this. When goals don't match your values or your life season, they become another reason to beat yourself up. We're eliminating that today. So let's go through a 4-step method for a values-aligned 2026. I know these 4 steps work. My clients use them, I use them, and if you do them, you'll start the new year with clarity, direction, and momentum. So let's go. First, review the year with curiosity, not critique. This is where most people skip straight to making new goals. Don't. You cannot build a better year until you understand the one you've just lived. Ask yourself, what actually worked this year? What surprised you in a good way? What felt aligned, even if it was small? What didn't work, not because you failed, because it didn't fit? Where did you spend energy you didn't need to spend? And what gave you peace, relief, or lightness? So this review should take about 10 to 20 minutes. It doesn't need to take a long time, but it is a critical piece in planning for your new year to figure out from experience what wisdom and knowledge you've gained to help make your next year better, so you don't repeat patterns and you don't miss things that maybe you would have overlooked had you not taken the time to reflect. If you journal, great. That is a really great option for writing things down and getting your thoughts to paper. But if not, that's okay. Just open your notes app and put them in there, or you can even do a talk to text kind of recording kind of thing. It's just about getting the thoughts out and being able to do that self-reflection. So again, writing it's great, but talking is sometimes even better. Just depends on your style. Let me give you one example. One of my clients had a goal to work out 5 days a week, journal each morning, and eat in a newer, cleaner way. Every month, when she didn't do these things or miss parts of these things, she felt like she was failing. When we reviewed this strategy, she realized the real issue wasn't motivation, it was margin. Her life didn't support a 5-day routine. She hadn't done the math. Her new plan required at least 10 hours per week towards all the things required to hit her goals. And she was already feeling stretched for time before starting this new journey. When she realized the time commitment hadn't been included in her planning, she was able to see where she wasn't failing. Instead, she just hadn't realized the impact on her time this new plan would require. She shifted from the goal of fitness discipline to the value of energy, and her perspective changed. She needed to get clear on which parts of the plan aligned with her values, her time, and overall priorities, and then plan them accordingly and realistically. From doing a review of the past year, she was able to get clear on her next steps. Her routine got smaller, but her success got bigger. Reviewing your year gives you honest data to work with. Next, let's identify your values for this season. Values aren't some fluffy Pinterest exercise. They are the anchor for every decision, every goal, every boundary. The question is, which values are most relevant for you right now? So ask yourself this: what mattered most to me this year? Which values guided my best decisions? Which ones did I compromise and regret? Which values need to lead in 2026? And what season am I actually in, not the one I wish I were in? And again, none of this is to look back and reflect and to look at failures or put any kind of negative spin on it. This is truly just learning. This is education about your own life that's going to help you move forward in a more informed way. So another example, I worked with a woman who kept setting big business goals because she thought she should. Everyone around her was talking about scaling, expanding, launching. But her top value for the year was presence, especially with her family. So once she named that, everything simplified. And ironically, her business grew faster because her decisions were clean and aligned. Your values are what give you clarity. So without them, you're guessing. Next, create a values-aligned vision for 2026. This part is powerful. Your vision is the filter for the entire year. Instead of resolutions, you can use these prompts. This year, I want to feel. So is it, I want to feel empowered. I want to feel confident. I want to feel successful. I want to feel calm. I want to feel healthy. Whatever it is for you, put it to paper. Another one is success in 2026 means, and then fill in the blank. This is a very, very important step for figuring out what is success for you. What is your definition of success? Because you may be used to like looking at it through a lens of success in your career or your business. We use success a lot in that framework, but maybe success in 2026 actually looks something more like focused on your personal life or aligning your personal with your business. So just looking at success and defining that for you, this is a very critical step in moving forward in 2026 so that you know how to measure throughout the year to know if you're hitting that goal or you're getting the outcome that you would like. Another one is, I want my life this year to look like, and then fill in the blank. So I want my life this year to look like calm. I want it to look anxiety-free. I want it to look like I'm living a life that is in alignment with who I am. You can define it any way you want, but this is your vision and how you want it to look like. And lastly, my priorities for 2026 are, and then you can fill in the blank. So this is a really good one because your priorities are important and they need to be considered in your planning for the year. And also understanding your priorities may not always be what your values are. So, a really good example I can think of right now is I have a client who's a business owner, yet she's not financially driven. Her reasons for her business are not around finances, though she knows she needs finances to be able to run her business. She does need to have revenue. That's not what drives her. So that's not her core value. But her priority for her to be able to stay in business and do the things that her business allows that do tie into her core values of being creative and having a creative outlet and serving others, she needs to have finances coming in and make a certain amount of income. So that needs to be considered in her 2026 priorities, but also understanding how they tie back to her values is going to help create the alignment and the momentum to keep going in that direction, to keep those priorities and to feel really good about those priorities when obstacles come or you hit any kind of roadblock. So the goal does not need to be a long list. It's a clear picture of what you're moving toward. A strong vision does two things. It calms your nervous system and it helps you confidently say yes and no without guilt. Your vision shouldn't make you feel overwhelmed. It should make you feel grounded. It should help you feel inspired. It's aspirational. It's what you're wanting to create. Next, choose 1 to 3 focused areas for the new year. Not goals, not resolutions, focus areas. These are the containers that guide your action. Some examples are protecting my mornings, build healthier work rhythms, create more connection in my home, or grow my business without burning out. And you've probably heard this before, but I want to say this again. It's so important here is if everything is a priority, nothing is. So choose 1 to 3 focus areas and then let everything else go. It doesn't mean you have to let them go forever unless that serves you, but it just need to let them go for the moment and focus on these 1 to 3 areas. Someone else I coached had decided that she had one big exciting goal she wanted to start in the new year. She felt inspired, but by about mid-February, she was starting to feel overwhelmed. Once we discussed it and clearly reviewed her vision, it was actually 9 goals. Her focus was spread out over so many areas. It was not only overwhelming, it became self-defeating. So it was just about looking at it, being realistic with the goal and understanding what it goes into doing that actual goal and getting that outcome, and being really honest with yourself about your values and what parts, and do you need to keep all of them? Or are there any things that need to be let go at least right now? And if it's nothing that needs to go and you do want to do all of those, then it's about focusing and figuring out the plan realistically. In her case, we narrowed it down to 2 values aligned focus areas: strengthen her family connection and protect work boundaries. Once she did that, her entire year shifted. Less effort, more results. This is the power of alignment. Every episode, we pause for a cupcake moment. It's a simple reminder that small, intentional choices matter. And this week, I'm going to share a story about myself. My family makes homemade treats over the holidays to send to our family each year. I love getting creative in the kitchen, and with so much of our family living far away, it's a way to send love and create traditions. The day was planned on the calendar when my little crew would be in the kitchen, and I envisioned music playing, everyone laughing and having a great time. Quite the Hallmark moment I had envisioned. What I hadn't considered was that my Indiana University super fan of a husband would have us out the night before until midnight watching the big game. So we were all a bit more tired than I had anticipated. We did rally and made some treats, but instead of pushing through and causing us to lose steam and get grumpy, I made the call to just stop where we were, and that would be enough. We'd either make more later or we'd find an alternative gift to send. It was against my type A push to the finish line style. And in hindsight, I was super proud that I saw the need to slow down and actually listen to my body and spirit and what they were guiding me to do. Like so many of us, I'm constantly having to remember to slow down, listen to my inner guidance, and follow what matters most. I share my story as a reminder to you and me that small aligned choices create big shifts. And this is exactly what prepping for 2026 is all about. So let's bring it all together, everything we've talked about. You don't need a massive overhaul. You don't need a fresh start built on pressure. You don't need to transform yourself in January. You need clarity. You need alignment. You need a plan that honors your life, not fights it. Your 2026 starts with the steps you take this week. So you can review your year, clarify your values, vision your new season, choose your focus areas. And that's it. Simple, powerful, actionable. So if this was helpful and you really enjoyed it, but you know that you would benefit from actually having the time to sit down and do this with some guidance and maybe a little accountability, then I invite you to my January workshop, which is going to be the 2026 Work-Life Planning Workshop. We're going to go through the exact framework I walk my clients through. It's structured, practical, and designed to help you build a year that actually fits your values in your life season. The things we're going to walk through are reflection, value mapping, vision creation, seasonal forecasting, priorities, planning rhythms that work in real life, and discussing celebrations along the way to help keep momentum. If you want your 2026 to feel aligned, clear, and doable, not heavy and overwhelming, this workshop is where you're going to want to be. So you can head over to lisapirinelli.com and simply enter your email to get my upcoming newsletter with all the details. Or you could just reach out to me directly with a DM. I love hearing from you. It's so fun. So I'd love to hear what your 2026 vision is as you align with what matters most to you. So remember, you don't need to wait until January 1st. Your clarity starts now. Your values are already guiding you. You just need a moment to listen. So let's make 2026 a year built on intention, alignment, and confidence. I am so proud of you for doing this work, and I will see you in the next episode.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Cupcakes and Clarity. If today's conversation inspired you and you'd like even more tips and strategies tailored to your life, go to lisapirinelli.com/resources for more self-guided tools. And if you're ready for personal support to help you navigate what's holding you back, I'd love to meet you. Head over to lisapirinelli.com to schedule your free consultation call. New episodes drop every Tuesday, so be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much if you shared it with a friend or leave a quick review. Until next time, here's to creating more clarity, confidence, and joy in your life, one cupcake at a time.